Reducing the number of dropped objects is an important goal for this command. During the past year, ACC experienced over 200 incidents where objects have been dropped from aircraft. The vast majority of these incidents were preventable. For example, someone failed to secure a helmet and night vision goggles. Doors were unsecured, flares were improperly loaded, and on many occasions, nuts and screws were not properly tightened. These occurrences cost ACC over $1 million in parts and labor. In addition, dropped objects endanger the civilian community and erode our credibility. Dropped object prevention responsibilities are shared by everyone on the flight line. The following video provides specific examples of common errors and oversights. I encourage you to take the following prevention tips and integrate them into your daily routine.
It's quite likely you're well aware of FOD, foreign object damage, but equally important and closely related, although sometimes not as well known, is dropped object prevention. Technically, a dropped object is any aircraft part, component, surface, or item which is lost during aircrew operations, from engine start to engine shutdown, unless it's intentionally jettisoned. We're highlighting the Dropped Object Prevention Program because it's extremely important, since it ultimately saves time, money, and resources while preventing injury and aircraft or property damage. Simply put, dropped objects result in millions of dollars of damage and wasted man-hours. As an example, dropped objects from C-5s generated costs of nearly $200,000 in just 1 year. Now spread this over the entire Air Force fleet, and you can see how large an impact the DOP program has. Don't forget, any property damage or personal injury isn't merely confined to the Air Force, but often spills over into the civilian community. Keeping all this in mind, it's our goal to help you realize the importance of this program, aggressively preventing any such incidents. Covered in this program are individual areas of responsibility, prevention techniques, investigation, and reporting procedures. Units responsible for flying, servicing, and maintenance must have an active DOP program in order to help track aircraft dropped object damage and its consequences. Ultimately, the Vice Wing Commander or applicable group commander responsible for flight line maintenance is the DOP Program Manager. The Wing Monitor oversees the entire program, including training. And as in every successful program, it begins with a strong foundation. In our case, this means prevention and training, which help reduce damage and injury before they're an issue. No matter what, keep in mind, continuous training is an integral and a proactive part of dropped object prevention. The Wing DOP Monitor must then work with each command's weapons system manager, providing reports and identifying trends. As the first line of defense for prevention, you, the maintenance technician, are responsible for these day-to-day tasks of tool control, item accountability, missing hardware identification and replacement, proper hardware usage, inspecting parts, panels, and doors for serviceability, security, and proper fit, as well as inspection and repair of delamination and corrosion. In addition, as a technician, your compliance with all technical orders and proper forms documentation is essential. You're also responsible to clean up your work area, which includes tools, extra hardware, personal effects, technical orders, job guides, and checklists. Additionally, as you perform a task, always use the appropriate hardware, as well as when replacing loose, missing, damaged, or improper screws, fasteners, rivets, nuts and bolts, safety wire, connectors, and cotter pins. Don't forget to check for parts, panel, and door serviceability, and security, as well as improper gap tolerances and fit. Look for corrosion, delamination, cracks, elongated holes, and warped, bent, or missing panels. The second line of defense is you, as a supervisor. Your focus is on such things as appropriate training, forms documentation, technical order adherence, and most importantly, second look inspections. Responsibility encompasses validating training and proper certification. This includes annotation in the individual's training records and CAMS or GO81. Now that we've covered prevention, it's time to turn to the procedures following a dropped object incident. Once discovered, you, as the wing DOP monitor, investigate the incident to determine the precise cause. Look closely at materials and the personnel in order to minimize the unknowns. Focus on positive corrective actions. Should you find a material or design deficiency, ensure that a deficiency report is submitted in accordance with the appropriate technical guidance. If transient aircraft are involved, you're responsible as the local DOP monitor for investigating and providing sufficient information to the home station who generates the report. In addition, you assist the weapons system manager in identifying any trends such as improper training, design, and material deficiencies. Your final step in this process is generating the required reports. The initial report is simply a phone call, email, or message to the MAJCOM DOP monitor. Should the incident involve casualties, property damage, or adverse publicity, a home line or B-line report is filed in accordance with Air Force Manual 10206. Your responsibility also includes the Base Wing Safety Office notification. Then the formal report is made to the MAJCOM DOP monitor within 3 duty days after all dropped object incidents. This report is maintained for a minimum of 24 months. Now we've taken you through the whole dropped object process, highlighting those steps which have the greatest program impact. It's important to identify trends. However, if this information isn't shared, it does nothing to further the dropped object prevention program. Remember, as a technician, you're the first line of defense. Aggressively safeguard your aircraft by performing all maintenance procedures completely, safely, and correctly, thus reducing dropped objects. Supervisors, as the second line of defense, your influence in dropped object prevention is critical. Your role of educating, training, and inspecting the technician is paramount to minimizing dropped objects. We cannot place enough emphasis on prevention, for we know all too well the outcome of dropped object damage.